Weight loss medications. I'm on Wegovy, I'm on Mounjaro, I'm on Saxenda. Do I have to be on these medications forever? Or how can I get off of these medications once I've lost the weight and got to my goal weight? This is the most common question I get whenever we talk about weight loss medications is, can I stop the weight loss medication? Okay, I'm going to do a long video right now and I'm going to explain how it's possible to get off the medications, why it might be difficult to get off the medications, etc., etc. For those who don't know, my name is Dr. Imam. I'm board certified in obesity medicine as well as allergy, asthma, and immunology. I'm bald and I say a lot of interesting things, so follow me. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to start with the medication called Wegovy because the majority of the studies are using Wegovy, which is the brand name for semaglutide or semaglutide, however you want to pronounce it. So the way this drug was studied are several studies called the STEP trials. Okay, so first off, let's see how well this drug worked. So you can see up here that the top line, that light blue line, that's the placebo group. So they were getting injections, thinking it was the medication or thinking they were getting something, but they weren't getting anything at all. And they were put on a diet regimen of intense exercise and intense diet. Now, this was pretty intense. So they were cutting calories to about 1,200 calories per day and then eventually increased slightly, and they increased activity to almost over 200 minutes per week. So in terms of the intensity of their exercise and the intensity of their diet, they were more intense than most people are. Now, the placebo group did actually pretty good. They lost 8% of their body weight, but look, they start to trend back up again. Now, this is a typical thing that happens with all diets. All diets, they tend to work okay for about 6 months, but then once the brain kicks in, it tries to get you to regain the weight. And you have to put in more and more effort for less and less returns when it comes to weight loss. The hardest part on any weight loss journey is going to be consistency, especially when you don't see return on your investment. Now, compare that to the semaglutide group. They lost significantly more weight. In this study, they're losing more than 16% body weight on average. Now, they're following the same diet, but they did twice as good as those without the medication. And they don't really have an uptrend at the end, which we'll show you in a different study, which is right here. As long as they stayed on the medication, they maintained the weight loss benefits without any rebound. Essentially, the weight loss benefits continued until about 1 year in, and then after that year, for another subsequent year, they didn't really rebound on any of the weight, and they remained that 15% weight loss reduction. In that same time period, the placebo group was only able to maintain around 2% weight loss. Okay, so what happens when they try to stop the medication? Well, this is kind of a graph that shows the result. In this group, they stopped the medication at 20 weeks. Now, the ones who continued the medication, they continued to lose weight. But the ones who stopped the medication, you can see that their weight started to climb back up. Now, this group did not know they stopped the medication, and they still were doing the lifestyle measures of trying to cut 500 calories per day. So before I answer the rest of this question, I think you need to take a step back and think to yourself, okay, if I lose weight, what am I going to do to avoid rebound, whether or not you're on this medication? Essentially, as you can see from the studies, even with the placebo group, any extreme weight loss always has the potential of causing a rebound effect. So I'm going to tell you my observations as a weight loss doctor and how I stop the medication on people who want to wean it off. My first caveat, if you don't want to stop the medication, that's completely fine. And if you're doing great on it and you have no side effects, then continue on it if you want to. Okay, I'm going to categorize this by giving everybody fake names. I'm going to start with Paul. Paul has been a healthy weight the majority of his life, but when COVID hit and he was stuck at home and he got a little depressed, he started to gain weight. So now Paul is about 30 to 40 pounds heavier than he wanted to be. He stopped exercising, he started sleeping poorly, and he's only been overweight for about 2 years. Paul qualifies for the medication because he's a BMI of 32. So he starts the medication and he's able to resume exercise, resume a healthy diet that he used to do before, resume all the lifestyle measures he used to do before, and his weight drops. He loses 30 pounds. Now, Paul hits the gym 5 days a week, lifting weights, and he eats well, and he wants to try to wean off the medication. Paul has no other medical problems related to his weight. So the way we wean it off is we drop the dose and see if his weight starts to increase again. If it does not increase and he's able to maintain the current diet that he's doing, we drop the dose again. If he's not regaining the weight, we drop the dose again. And we just keep doing that. And if he lost the weight and he's not regaining after everything's done, that's great. And I have a lot of people like Paul. Next, I have Susie. Susie started the medication and lost 15% of her body weight, but she did not change her diet at all. She just eats less of the same foods that she was eating before. So if she had Chick-fil-A every day for lunch, now she can only finish half a Chick-fil-A sandwich instead of the full sandwich. Susie has not been able to increase her activity levels. If I were to stop the medication on Susie, she would likely will regain the weight. Okay, third is Mark. Mark has been overweight his entire life, And he has tried very hard with diet and exercise, but has never been able to maintain weight loss, and he wasn't ever able to lose that much weight. He has a family history of obesity, and no diet he's ever done or no amount of exercise has ever helped him lose weight. He started the medication and he lost a significant amount of weight. It would be very difficult for us to get Mark off the medication because he already tried everything in the past and he wasn't able to maintain the weight loss. So we could attempt it by doing the other method that we just wean it down and then try to see if he gets hungry again and he starts to regain the weight. Okay, another point is that sometimes for some people, the maintenance dose of the medication is not the same as the dose that they're using for weight loss. Some people are able to drop down to the lowest dose and maintain the weight on that dose instead of just stopping the medication overall. And a lot of people are comfortable with that. Okay, another scenario is sometimes we just switch medications. Sometimes they lose insurance coverage for Wegovy. They just don't want to keep taking injections. So they switch to a different brand of like a pill and they're able to maintain the weight that way. Here's a GoodRx slide of all the different weight loss medications that are available. So there's metformin that sometimes we can use to wean off. There's Contrave that doesn't work as well as Wegovy, but sometimes we use that to wean off. Phentermine is not usually used to wean off because it's a controlled substance. Qsima is the same. And Saxenda is also a medication that we can use to wean off, but it's a once-a-day injection. Now, the reason I bring these up is because Saxenda will likely be generic by the end of the year. So there's a possibility that a person on Wegovy who loses coverage might be able to switch to generic Victoza or Saxenda to maintain the weight loss, even though the weight loss is not as good on liraglutide as it is to semaglutide. In the future, there might be an active phase versus a maintenance phase with the GLP-1. I don't know, but there'll need to be more research. I'm just saying that that's possible. I've seen it many times that a person, the dose that they can use to maintain is much lower than the dose they need to lose weight. Other observations, it's people who have acute weight gain in the last 2 to 5 years and need to resume healthy lifestyle, a lot of times are able to get off the medication without fully rebounding. But individuals who've tried their whole life to lose weight and have been unable to lose weight because of some kind of genetic predisposition or lifestyle measure or medications that medications they might be taking for other reasons, they will unlikely be able to stop the medication completely without rebounding with some of the weight. But the final point is the rebound on your weight is not medication specific. You are not rebounding just because you are on and off the medication. The rebound occurs with any type of weight loss. The rebound is the problem. That's why when I prescribe a weight loss program, I don't just give diet and exercise. I prepare for the rebound from day one. But now this video is too long, so I'll explain that later. All right, I hope that helps. Questions in the comments. I tried to go as detailed as I can, so sorry this is so long.